All right, Jack. So together we've been looking a little bit of my campaign. I'm starting a new campaign in 2025, and I wanted, Jack to have a quick look at it. And we started doing it, and we said like, oh my God, hold on, this is a podcast episode. Let's just share where we're at.
That's right. And Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, Jeremy. Yeah. So, and we're looking at a QuickMail dashboard. I think this is the first probably of several QuickMail over the shoulder recordings. But yeah, let's get into it. So we've got a multi-channel campaign that you built out. Do you want to
Yeah,
tell us who
nothing
it's
too
for?
fancy.
What's the idea of the campaign?
Yeah, sure. So we are, there's nothing really unusual about it for us. So we are still targeting like lead generation agencies, and we are having like a multi-channel approach. The very first is we're trying to reach out through LinkedIn, where we're generating a profile view, and then the step two is to send an invite.
Fair enough.
Damn it,
Click the
it
button,
doesn't
Jeremy.
work. It doesn't work. I always try to click. It's probably because, okay, anyway. No, it doesn't work. I have like two cursors. We're gonna have to do it again.
It has to work.
All right, let me try to
Oh my
reshare.
God. I think I'm ready.
All right, right. So we fixed the clicking problem. So here's the second step, and it's basically just a LinkedIn invite. Nothing really too fancy. Anything to say about the text?
Yeah, so we there is this idea of going for the kill and stepping back and allowing for the longer timeline to unfold and to win this deal. Okay, so this LinkedIn connection, let's read it really quick for
Yeah.
our audio listeners especially. Lead gen agencies use our email plus LinkedIn solution to serve more clients with fewer people and enjoy superior deliverability. Open to connect. So this reads to me where it's very transparent where this is going, but look, there's a pitch here. It's like lead gen agencies use our solution for an end benefit. Let's connect. And really you're inviting them to connect around this topic. So look, if this person is frustrated with the tool that they're using for driving leads with email and LinkedIn, or maybe they really resonate with this deliverability improvement through QuickMail, like this is going to work great. And you might get a little bit fewer responses and connections for this message, but the response you get will be a lot lower in the funnel. They'll be more ready for that demo and hopefully to close. But something to consider, these are the lead gen agency owners that you do want to be working with. This is your tribe. So I think there's a toggle, or maybe a spectrum. You can maybe
Well, we
back
could do a
off on
second variation, and then this is what we could do.
look, here's the thing. It's like, let me play devil's advocate, Jeremy. Don't you want as many lead generation owners as possible in your network, even the ones that aren't willing to take a demo or explore a solution right now, so that 3 years down the road, they've been seeing your updates and they've become aware of how you can help their problems. That's kind of
Yeah,
where I'm at.
of course, I'm
Right.
down. And sometimes full transparency, sometimes I receive messages like say like, hey, I'm not looking for anything right now, but sure, I'll connect. And it's like, great,
Great.
let's connect.
And that's wonderful. And the A/B test, by the way, should be send this variation A, and then maybe a variation B that's something like showing commonality, right? Robert Cialdini's influence weapon.
Interesting. What would you do? Because
Liking.
I'm
Well,
actually
liking is we want to basically do business with people that are similar to us. So I would bring in the common industry. So like, we're both in the lead gen agency world. I'm from the software space, would like to connect. That's it. Right. So in and out, no pitch, but just shares that commonality. I know this kind of message works better than a blank request right now, which a little bit surprising.
interesting. Because I was like,
Yeah.
I wanted to actually experiment with a blank request. So what would you
Bl-
say? We
blank
say like,
requests, both in the lead gen space.
yeah, that's true.
We're on the software side and would like to connect. That's it. Like literally just here's why we're similar, invite, boom.
Okay. rephrase it, but that's the idea. Got it. Nice. Okay, cool. I'm happy with that. Moving on, a day later, if LinkedIn is not really successful, then we're going to move to email. And with that, we have like 2 variations, but I think this one is the most interesting to speak about. Actually,
and it's a good one.
Let me just put it as test. It's easier to actually read.
All right, even better.
Here we go. So,
all right,
whatever is the lead.
That's a heck of a first name.
I know, right?
I almost didn't want to take a try at that one. All right, so let's read it for our podcast audio only listeners here. Looks like you are using another tool for cold outreach. I'd love to show you how our analytics are blowing everyone out of the water and how you can ensure superior deliverability for all your clients with no additional work. And then here's a screenshot of this very impressive dashboard, stats, analytics that was just mentioned. Continues, for the last 10 years, we helped lead gen agencies deliver more results for their clients without having to expand the team by simply switching to QuickMail. Can I show you how other agencies use this to keep clients longer? No strings attached. All right. Man.
Yeah, so two things. The first one is, we say like, look, they're using another tool for cold outreach just simply because they're not our clients. So they must be using another tool for cold outreach.
And here's what's nice too, is like these prospects have been carefully vetted. There is a very high likelihood that they're using a tool for cold outreach. But granted, Jeremy, you and I both know that this is not going to achieve 100% accuracy. It could be that some agencies do it manually, right? Like let's imagine an edge case. But what I like is this first line is a disqualifier. If you don't use a tool for outreach, it's not for you. Move along. And so I've always, as a copywriter, I've always been a fan of writing that calls out who this is for in a way that is not so obvious. So
it's very nice.
I'm into it.
Well said.
Yeah.
And then full transparency, we were talking about this message specifically before we jump on the podcast. So we were actually changing the call to action. Do you want to talk a little bit of the call to actions?
Right. Can I show you how other agencies use this to keep clients longer? So what's nice is I'm trying to move away from a simple like interested question mark where, look, that's not bad. But can I show you how other agencies use this to keep clients longer? Question mark is suddenly a call to action and a value prop. Right. So like if they say yes, they're not just going to take a consulting style demo with you to see how wonderful your solution is. No, if they say yes, they're going to get clued in to some of the results agencies are enjoying with this new solution, right? So it's a slight, well, it's not even a slight change. It's a pretty major switch. But I think given how brief these messages have to be, the more you can pack into each line, the better.
Yeah, makes sense. Then we wait 2 days and then we have like a simple follow-up.
How about a 5-minute video of our deliverability AI if you're too busy or dislike calls? Would that work? Signature. Notice how there's no video link. Let's talk about that for a second. Why did you choose, I mean, some people would say, just drop the link in, but Jeremy and I are actually in agreement that this is a carefully thought out approach. Why?
Yeah, well, I want people to sort of, to reach out to me and, just raise their interest. Like, is there any interest or not? Because we could always pivot. And like you say, you keep them in your world as to like someone who is potentially interested. So next time I build a video, I can just directly send that to them and say, hey, look, last time you were interested in that video. So, hey, I just shoot another one that I think you're going to appreciate. And then I'll just basically drop the link in the next time.
There you go.
But you can't really do that if they don't reply.
That's perfect. So basically, you're not saying to never throw a video link. And by the way, the signature that you cannot see has a video link. It's different than what's called out in this message. But
it's a testimonial just for everyone's information.
Right. Yeah. But you can always follow up with new stuff, including a video link if this approach doesn't work. I think that's an important point here. So then what do we do next? We wait, and then
the next
maybe one more really touch. That's fine. That's fine.
Actually, let's discuss about it. Like, what other touch would you actually put? Like right now, what we're doing is we're basically switching back to LinkedIn, and it's just basically
Hmm.
trying to send a message because maybe they accepted in between,
There you
that
go.
time.
That's
But
right.
I'm open to like what would you goes on your mind?
Yeah, I would definitely circle up on LinkedIn, but here's kind of how I think about it. Um, there's for like from a deliverability perspective, it's not best practice to have 12 steps anymore, right? Like you're going to pay a
You need
price for those
22.
steps,
I agree. I agree.
right? So, but like if you think back to 2018, like every blog post
Oh
on cold email
gosh,
was saying send 12 steps because like there was basically no punishment for
never stop.
sending lots and lots. Exactly. So I would definitely check in on LinkedIn to see if that connection request was accepted because those are essentially like free touches. You're not going to get
That's right.
penalized on a deliverability standpoint. So um, I would I would check after maybe like an email or two for sure, maybe even sooner, depending. And these messages are really darn good. I would probably send something very similar, but just on LinkedIn, depending on what stage they're at. Now, if you're listening, you might want to blow the whistle and say like, "Well, Jack, that isn't adding something new to the conversation. If you send it via email, you shouldn't send it via LinkedIn." What are your thoughts there, Jeremy?
I do think that changing the channel actually is pretty powerful. We do sometimes send emails that say, or send LinkedIn connect. We sometimes switch and we say like,
Yeah,
hey, we've been sending an email, couldn't reach out to you, whatever. And they're like, oh
right.
yeah, what's this email about? Or like, so it's actually
There you
pretty
go.
helpful. And I don't
Right.
think people should assume that they read all the channel and they're like, they're going to tell, aha, you
Right.
send me an email already with exact same text. Like, makes no sense.
Fair point. Fair point. So maybe the important thing to keep in mind is when you do switch channels, call it out. Hey, I've been sending you a couple emails, or hey, I
It's a good
messaged you
one.
on LinkedIn about this, and that way it kind of humanizes things a little bit, and it's very easy to incorporate in a campaign.
Yeah,
Um,
the second thing I would say as well is, adapt to the channel. So, if, for example, you're
yeah,
switching from, email to Twitter or whatever, like just make sure you adapt to whatever is the norm or the guidelines on that channel.
yeah. So it may be chunked a little bit smaller on LinkedIn. So maybe message one would be two different messages, almost
Yeah.
back to back, right? Um, now there is I would probably do one change, Jeremy, and that is on the LinkedIn step. If they did accept your invite, I would pause for a moment and put a manual step to add more personalization. Just
Hmm.
because if they accepted it, I think it's a good opportunity. That means that they're closer to biting here, and they're worthy of a lot more personalization at this stage. So it might be fun to just throw in something that's really hard to replicate with AI to hopefully have a pattern interrupt occur for your prospect, right?
Makes sense.
Um, but
Well,
look at the end.
if they reply usually from the invite, then they will come into the opportunities, and then that's basically one of the things for me to reply. Like if I receive a message.
Sorry, I was more talking about the scenario where they accept your invite, but that's
But
it.
they don't, okay, they don't say anything.
Exactly. Right. Which will happen, right? Which will
Hmm.
happen maybe
Well,
more times than a reply to it.
you give me some idea. Maybe I could actually just add an option in QuickMail that is like when you actually just, the acceptance is done, then, stop it and create an opportunity so you can go ahead and
There you
then,
go.
write some stuff.
Perfect.
Okay, I'll
Yeah,
keep
but
that
I
in mind.
think so. Let's kind of wrap with this, Jeremy, and stop me if we're not here yet. But where do you think the campaign shines? What do you think it did uniquely well? I have a feeling I know what it
Ooh,
is. Yeah.
interesting. So, oh man, I don't like being put in a spot like that, but I'll try
It's
my
okay. I'll,
best.
I'll go first. I
So,
can go first if you want.
I think there's two things that I really like. The first one is that I'll do it in the reverse order. The second thing that I really like is that we have an embedded image that is embedded. So basically, it's not like it doesn't show until people
On
click,
off.
what, yeah, exactly.
It's pretty good.
So they will see it no matter what. And that image is like, pretty nice. Like it's a nice looking, dashboard for stats. So
Hmm.
it's an eye candy stuff, right? So one person told me like, "Hey Jamie, you got such a nice looking software. Why don't you actually show it more instead of actually you're showing other things.
Nice.
Like, okay,
Nice.
cool. So I
Yeah.
use that. And then the second thing is I really use what we're really good at and shine compared to the other one. And I think the image is sort of like the proof in the pudding. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, I have image at the top of my list. I think
Oh,
like
nice. Okay.
really, really quickly, someone who's frustrated with complicated tools or not just getting insight, that kind of answers it for him or her.
Yeah.
So
Deliverability is harder because I'm building up on your idea. Like,
it
how would you
is
actually
it
do an image for all of those things? You don't want to end up with like, unsplash image. That's part of your
right.
email. That wouldn't go well.
Correct. You wouldn't want that. But no, I think like in this case, and I don't use images very much in campaigns, but I think in this case, all right,
It's an
there's
interruption pattern. Yeah.
right. And more importantly, it's that picture's worth 1,000 words thing, where as soon as they see it, if it's the right prospect, a light bulb should go off. So you did a good job being very clear with where this is going and why it's in their benefit to reply. So I'm really curious how this works.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, keep us posted. And thanks, Jeremy. And here's to a great 2025. If you want some more, check out course.quickmail.io or, of course, quickmail.com for the tools needed to do good cold email, LinkedIn outreach, and salesbread.com if you just want us to do it for you and bring you one lead per day. Thanks, Jeremy. That was awesome.
All right. Thank you so much, Jack. Bye.
All right. Cheers.